Hello and welcome to day 2 of 21 Days of Presence. I'm Eva Elise. So the energies of today are pretty interesting. There's two things that we're feeling pretty strongly: the Venus square Uranus and Venus sextile Mercury. So Venus has been just super aspected as it's made its journey through Capricorn. And just yesterday, it moved into the sign of Aquarius while it's in square with Uranus. Now, Uranus is going to move into the sign of Taurus on the day of this new moon in Pisces on March 6th. Just a few days away from now. And so it's almost like Venus is staying in square to it. It's kind of like tugging Uranus along into hosting its passage through this square, which though has tension to it. And so, Venus is about our feminine part of ourselves. It's also about our self-worth and our value system, what really matters to us. And Venus in square to Uranus as it moves into Taurus for good, it's done with Aries for this cycle, is a message. And, of course, Venus has been beating down our door in the last couple of weeks, heavily aspected as it moved through Capricorn, saying that there are some serious adjustments that need to happen in our self-worth, in our ability to take our power back, as we move into this new age, because Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. So it's speaking to the future, innovative ways and technology moving forward, higher vibrational frequencies, and bringing those to the earth in Taurus. And Venus is saying, yeah, good luck with that, right? Good luck with that until we make some major adjustments around whether or not we deserve a better world, even though we've all been struggling with the world the way it is. And we've come again, lifetime after lifetime, we've come to this planet to try to make this world a better place. And it's been thwarted and held back. So it's a really interesting energy right now, because this Venus square Uranus is bringing up the Uranus square, the nodes that's been happening since September. And the feeling of this has been like suspended in between the past and the future. And this feeling is really strong right now because we're getting ready to go into a Mercury retrograde. So Mercury is slowing down at the end degrees of Pisces. But look at the magic of this, because Mercury is the messenger. It's trying to help us understand our conceptual reality, our day-to-day life, our everyday way of seeing the world, what's really going on. And this Mercury retrograde that starts on the 5th is going to be going back through the end degrees of Pisces. So right now it's slowing down in the end degrees of Pisces and preparing to turn retrograde, meaning it's getting closer to the earth. That's really what retrograde means. It's kind of going behind the earth. So it appears to be going backwards, but it really means it's having more of an effect on us because it's closer to us. So we're losing our perspective of it. And that's kind of exactly what's going on with this Mercury retrograde. We have to lose our perspective completely and be totally lost and confused in order to get some sort of clarity, because Pisces energy is ultimately confused about this world, this level of reality. It's talking about the oneness, the spirit, the further out there, the cosmos, the cosmic whole. And that energy doesn't really translate into our everyday reality, but Mercury's saying we better try. If we're ever going to get out of the Piscean age, we better try. And so we have that confusion energy kind of coming in. But we also have this powerful messages from Venus right now. And so when Venus is on center stage like this, it brings up our sensitivities and our vulnerabilities and just like really raw places within us, frustration about our life not being what we really would like it to be, and the feeling of things kind of of feeling victimized. That's these end degrees of Pisces, right? It's like, oh, well, Chiron finally moved into Aries, but now Mercury is going to just dance around these last degrees of Pisces and kind of drag this whole story out to try to have it make sense. And the goddess, Venus, the feminine part of ourselves, is saying there's some major adjustments that need to happen in the feminine, and claiming back our power on a feminine level within each of us, and to empower, to feel like we deserve. Venus is our self-worth. And Uranus is saying, okay, enough, you guys. We've been dancing around this, moving into the Aquarian age and the revolution that needs to take place. And Venus is piping up and saying, hey, it has a lot to do with me. And you're pretty much stuck until you get this piece. But there's magical messages and occurrences right now, because Uranus always brings synchronicities, higher information. And so there's higher information trying to come in around our self-worth and what we really want, the future part of ourselves. And yet Mercury's dwelling in the past part of ourselves there at the end degrees of Pisces, pulling us back into those old patterns that are about victimhood and about feeling thwarted. So there's a lot coming up right now around forces not allowing you to move into the future, and pain and grief of this pattern repeating over lifetimes. But it's not actually true. We are actually being extracted, pulled into the future. But a very interesting time, and especially as Pluto is coming up on its conjunction with the South Node. And that is really bringing this energy of like what needs to be broken down from the past, that, in the structures of our past. That's the structures of our belief systems right now that are based on past programming. And just so much is trying to clear out of the collective right now. Just know that too, like what you're going through is a really way, way bigger story than you can even comprehend. And you're doing your part to help release and process and kind of transform these energies. And so just sit tight with that and know that huge, huge, huge happenings are happening to release this programming from our past, from the collective consciousness right now. And so we are here at this crazy place that we've been here for 6 months, and it's like suspended between the past and the future. And so this is a really great opportunity right now. And now we're just about to have Uranus move into Taurus. Chiron is moved into Aries. These big shifts are happening, but Mercury's about to take retrograde. So it's like, hold up, not quite yet, right? And so now we need to prepare. And so today, the energy in this little guided meditation is really about finding the similarity and the energetic awareness of the past and the future, and that it all exists actually in the now. So the medicine for this time of being suspended between the past and the future, and lost in your identity and confused as to what in the heck you want and who you are, the magic of it is coming into this now moment and knowing that your future self exists and has already overcome, has already broken free from this reality. And your past self is no longer stuck in those patterns either. It's a delusion because we don't really have time, right? And so let's go ahead and just come into this now moment. The presence of today is about recognizing the magic of coming into the moment where all time exists and no time exists. It's a still point within. So go ahead and just feel yourself arrive in this now moment. And just imagine that you are sinking in to the earth, becoming present. And see yourself kind of like on a line, okay? So you're on a timeline. And behind you is all these things that have happened in the so-called past. And in front of you is all the stuff that's going to happen. And just feel yourself kind of settling in to the center of the past and the future. And just taking a few deep breaths, feeling your awareness. Just go ahead and exercise this awareness. Go way back on this timeline. Go way back to ancient Earth, pre-Earth, And then follow the timeline up to where you are now. And understand that the infinity of that timeline that goes all the way back also goes into the future. And just imagine the future ahead. And then go ahead and feel yourself right here in this now moment, suspended in this magical place where there is no time. This is the only time we actually have, is when we can be present in the now. The minute that we get pulled into the past or the future in our daily thinking, we're not in the now. We're not in the present. And part of what's happening in our energetic changes that are happening right now on the planet is moving into more fourth and fifth dimensional energies, which is a completely different experience. And so the best skill and gift and preparation we can give ourselves is as much time as possible in the now moment. And so just imagine that you're moving into this place within you that represents this still point. We live in manifested duality, or manifested consciousness, and physical manifestation is by definition duality consciousness. There's an unmanifested form and a manifested form. This is a positive polarity and negative polarity. And we exist because we're in this polarity system. But there's a part of us that was not in this polarity system and is still not in this polarity system, but is always, and is always has been from the very beginning, in the oneness vibration. And we can tap into this part of ourselves right here, right now. And go ahead and just imagine using your heart, the chakra, the portal, your physical heart, the area of your physical heart, and the heart chakra in the center of the chest area. Just step into that area. Step into this place of still point. There's one place, one moment, one part of you that's outside of duality. This is you at the time of conception, where you were completely whole and complete, a spark of light. This is the Aries point that Mercury is going to come up close to and not quite ready. It's like the groundhog running back underground, or not quite ready to move into that next chapter. And it's interesting because this is what's coming up for all of us right now, running back into the cave where we're safe. Unfortunately, that safe feeling a lot of times comes from actually fear programming. Sometimes when we feel doom and fear, we feel like, well, as long as we're feeling it, then we don't have to be taken by surprise when that feeling comes back again. And we're addicted to it. And we feel safer when we feel fear or doom. And this is an attachment, a personality attachment, ego attachment that's no longer working, no longer serving humanity in its evolution. And so here we are, like a rubber band being stretched in between the past and the future. And so we can realize, though, that our true nature is this oneness, this spark. So just see in front of yourself this bright light, this spark of creation, this you at the moment of conception, when you were whole and complete, completely in balance with your male and your female, at the moment of creation. And just step into that light and feel that all of a sudden the source of light that's always outside of you is now coming from within. And just take a few deep breaths, breathing into your heart, expanding this light, this consciousness, coming into this still point place, outside of duality, right here, right now. Our mental construct continues to pull us into the past and into the future, which actually don't exist. And so come back into, use that exercise energy as an exercise to bring yourself continually back in to center. And just sinking into Mother Earth, complete surrender to this moment. This moment on your timeline, right here, right now. The only way we can prepare for the future is to become present in what's happening in the now. So much of our issues right now come from a resistance to what's happening in the now. But how can you move forward when you can't be present with what's happening in the now? And perhaps this is the energy of Uranus moving into Taurus, demanding that our energies ground out into the physical realm, into the earth. We're always trying to get somewhere and do something beyond what we're doing in the moment. And this has become like a disease of humanity, keeping us from our true evolution. And so just go ahead and exercise this true power of your true self right here, right now, and come into this still point moment. And the minute you feel yourself thinking a thought outside of this energy, bring yourself right back in. That's like the rubber band. And what you want is a rubber band just to be relaxed, maybe gentle tension. And once it gets pulled one way or the other into the past or the future or to some other energies, distracting energies, you'll feel that pull and just bring it back. Use that to bring your attention right back here. And just notice the peace of this now moment. What would it be like to be able to step out of your stories, your past, and out of your concerns for the future and just be? Surrender and be here, right now. Communicating with Mother Earth. Feeling yourself held and grounded. And just staying here as long as you would like in this still point, this rejuvenative moment, this place where you're whole and complete. Just how you were in the beginning and the end. Always accessible to you. Just take a few deep breaths, enjoying this connection to your true self and to the earth, to this now moment. Everything is handled in this now moment. Everything is perfect in this now moment. And just staying with this as long as you'd like, bringing this sense of peace, presence, and still point into your regular everyday life, completing your meditation when you're ready. Well, thanks so much for joining me for day 2 of 21 days of presence and coming out of this crazy rubber band energy and claiming that peace, that presence, the truth of who we really are. Sometimes it's almost easier to find when you're being pulled all over the place. So can we use these energies to our advantage? And that's a big part of this magic that I don't think I completed my thought, but Mercury sextile Venus right now. You know, for the next couple of days, we've got Venus square Uranus, you know, that's suspended between the past and the future. and our self-worth is up for review, and all these sensitivities and all these places where we've given away our power and all this uncomfortable, yucky, vulnerable feelings coming up and being triggered, because we have to move beyond this. But with Venus and sextile to Mercury, it's about creative solutions available, and creative solutions available in helping us heal and resolve that victimhood identity of the past, and claiming our self-worth and our personal power and our right to be whole and complete and have a better world. And that's what's necessary for us to move into the future. So I look forward to seeing you on day 3 tomorrow of 21 Days of Presence, and hopefully on the new moon in Pisces activation that's happening on Tuesday. There's information to sign up in the information box below. So until next time, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.